The quantum lab deep beneath the Rocky Mountains hummed with an energy that had nothing to do with its advanced machinery. Dr. Maya Patel stood before the holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting the dancing particles of light that represented humanity's greatest technological achievement. The quantum consciousness matrix, a system that could transfer human consciousness through subatomic particles, had just achieved stable operation for the first time. Dr. Patel, you need to see this. Marcus Rodriguez, her chief systems analyst, called from his station. His usually steady hands trembled slightly as they manipulated the data streams. The QCM is picking up something external. Maya crossed the room in quick strides, her lab coat swishing against the polished floor. The facility, known officially as Deep Mountain Research Installation Beta, had been her home for the past 5 years. Every inch of its cutting-edge technology was as familiar to her as her own heartbeat, which made the anomaly on Marcus's screen all the more disturbing. These patterns, she murmured, leaning closer. They're too organized to be natural quantum fluctuations. The screen showed perfect geometric sequences repeating through the quantum field, something that should have been impossible in the chaotic quantum realm. Dr. James Anderson, the facility's head of security and former quantum physicist, joined them at the console. His military background showed in his rigid posture, but his eyes held the same scientific curiosity as Maya's. Could it be feedback from our own systems? Maya shook her head. No, these signatures are coming from somewhere else. Something, or someone, is trying to communicate through quantum entanglement. The implications hit them all at once. Humanity had just achieved stable quantum communication, but these signals suggested someone else had mastered it long ago. The question was, who? Over the next 72 hours, the facility transformed into a hive of activity. Maya's team worked around the clock, analyzing the signals and attempting to decipher their meaning. The patterns became clearer. They weren't just random attempts at communication. They were coordinates. Look at this, Maya announced during an emergency briefing with the facility's senior staff. The holographic display showed a 3-dimensional star map. The signals are pointing to a location just beyond Jupiter's orbit, and they're getting stronger. General Rebecca Hayes, the military liaison to the project, studied the map with narrowed eyes. Do we have any assets in that sector? The Europa probe passed through that region last week, Marcus replied, pulling up the data. Its quantum sensors picked up an energy signature unlike anything we've seen before. We thought it was an instrument malfunction. Maya's tablet chimed with an urgent alert. The quantum field was experiencing massive fluctuations. Something's happening, she announced, her voice tight with tension. The signal strength just increased by several orders of magnitude. The facility's eye assistant, ARA, spoke through the room's speakers. Warning. Detection of multiple quantum anomalies in Earth orbit. Pattern matches theoretical models for artificial wormhole creation. General Hayes was already on her secure phone, but Maya barely noticed. Her attention was fixed on the readings flooding her screen. The quantum field was showing patterns that defied everything they thought they knew about physics. Dr. Patel, Araya's voice held an unusual note of urgency. I'm detecting attempts to access our quantum network through previously unknown protocols. The source appears to be extraterrestrial. Maya's fingers flew across her console, bringing up the facility's quantum firewall systems. The attempts were unlike any cyber attack she'd ever seen. They weren't trying to break through their defenses. They were trying to quantum tunnel through them. Lock down the QCM, she ordered. Full containment protocols. Nothing in or out without triple authentication. But even as the facility's defenses engaged, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they were dealing with something far beyond their experience. The quantum signals had changed from simple geometric patterns to complex mathematical equations that seemed to be solving themselves in real time. They're not just communicating, she realized, watching the equations evolve. They're teaching, or testing. This is a technological Turing test. As if in response to her words, the quantum field stabilized, and a clear message appeared in their systems, translated into perfect English. "Greetings, children of Earth. Your quantum awakening has been noted. The Cathari Collective welcomes you to the greater galaxy. Prepare for contact." Maya exchanged looks with her team. After years of searching the stars for signs of intelligent life, it wasn't radio telescopes or traditional SETI programs that had made first contact. It was their quantum consciousness research that apparently had attracted attention they never anticipated. "General," Maya said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment, "I suggest we initiate First Contact Protocol Alpha." And she paused, looking at the increasingly complex equations filling their quantum servers. "We might want to review our assumptions about humanity's place in the technological hierarchy of the universe." As alarms began to sound throughout the facility, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of something enormous. Humanity had wanted to reach for the stars, but it seemed the stars had decided to reach back. The question was, with what intention? The first Cathari ship materialized in Earth's orbit exactly 48 hours after their initial quantum message. It appeared not with the flash and thunder of sci-fi movies, but with a subtle ripple in space-time that only the most sensitive instruments could detect. The vessel itself defied conventional description, a crystalline structure that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. In the Deep Mountain Facilities Command Center, Maya and her team watched the live feed from orbital satellites. "Their technology is incredible," she breathed, studying the way the alien ship seemed to phase in and out of normal space. "They're not just using quantum mechanics. They're living it." "Beautiful and terrifying," Marcus commented, his fingers dancing across his console as he analyzed the incoming data. "The energy readings suggest they're operating on principles we've only theorized about. Look at these quantum fluctuation patterns. They're identical to what we observed in our consciousness transfer experiments." General Hayes stood rigid, her jaw set. "That's what worries me. Of all the technological achievements humanity has made, why did they choose to reveal themselves now? Just as we're cracking the code of quantum consciousness." The answer came sooner than anyone expected. The Cathari requested a meeting, not with world leaders or military commanders, but specifically with the Deep Mountain Research Team. Their message was clear. They had been watching humanity's technological progress, and our recent breakthrough in quantum consciousness technology had caught their attention. The meeting was arranged in a heavily secured conference room within the facility. Maya felt her heart racing as the appointed time approached. Security teams were stationed at every corner, and ARIA was running continuous scans of all quantum frequencies. The Cathari representatives didn't walk through the door. They simply materialized in their designated seats. 3 beings, each roughly humanoid but composed of what appeared to be crystalline energy rather than flesh and blood. Their forms shifted and flowed like liquid light. "We greet you, pioneers of Earth." The central figure spoke, its voice resonating directly in their minds rather than through the air. "I am First Observer Lyrics, and we have much to discuss about your remarkable achievements." Maya felt a strange pressure in her head, like someone gently trying to open a door. She realized with a start that the Cathari were attempting to establish a quantum link with their consciousness, the very technology her team had been developing. "We would prefer verbal communication for now," General Hayes interrupted firmly, having noticed Maya's discomfort. "Our quantum consciousness technology is still in its early stages." The Cathari's form rippled in what might have been amusement. "Early stages? Your modesty is unnecessary, Dr. Patel. We have observed your quantum consciousness matrix. It is surprisingly elegant for such a young species." Something in their tone made Maya's scientific instincts tingle with warning. The way they spoke about human technology reminded her of anthropologists discussing primitive tribes, a mixture of condescension and fascination. "We have come to offer you advancement," Lyrics continued. "Your species stands at a crucial threshold. We can help you cross it safely." Dr. Anderson leaned forward. "And what would this help entail?" "A simple exchange. We will share our understanding of quantum dimensional engineering. In return, we wish to study your quantum consciousness matrix. Its approach is unique, unconventional. It should not work, and yet it does. Maya exchanged glances with her team. The offer was tempting. The Ketheri's technology was centuries beyond Earth's. But something felt off. The quantum consciousness matrix was more than just technology. It was a bridge between the physical and quantum realms, between mind and matter. In the wrong hands. We need time to consider your offer, Maya said carefully. This isn't a decision we can make lightly. The Ketheri's forms shimmered. Of course, we understand the need for careful deliberation. We will remain in orbit, awaiting your response. After they departed, Marcus pulled up the quantum sensor readings from during the meeting. Did you see how they reacted when we mentioned verbal communication? Their quantum signatures spiked. They were surprised, maybe even frustrated. They wanted a direct consciousness link, Maya realized. They wanted to see how our system works from the inside. General Hayes nodded grimly. They're not here to help us advance. They're here to study us. The question is, why is our quantum consciousness technology so important to them? As if in answer, Aria's voice cut through their discussion. Warning. Detection of unauthorized quantum scanning attempts directed at the main research servers. Source: Ketheri vessel. Maya's blood ran cold. The Ketheri weren't waiting for their answer. They were already trying to take what they wanted, but they were about to learn that humanity's primitive technology had a few surprises of its own. Red warning lights pulsed through the deep mountain facility as Maya and her team worked frantically to counter the increasingly sophisticated quantum intrusion attempts. The Ketheri scans had evolved from simple probes to complex quantum tunneling attacks, each one more ingenious than the last. They're trying to create a quantum entanglement bridge directly into our mainframe, Marcus announced, his fingers flying across multiple holographic keyboards. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he matched the aliens' attacks with equally creative countermeasures. Their technology is incredible, but they keep underestimating us. They don't expect us to be able to detect their more subtle approaches. Maya nodded, studying the attack patterns on her own screen. They think we're children playing with technology we don't understand. That's their weakness, their arrogance. She turned to Dr. Anderson, who was coordinating with the facility's security teams. James, how's Aria holding up? Our AI is proving more resilient than they anticipated, he replied with a hint of pride. The Ketheri's quantum attacks are sophisticated, but they're based on predictable patterns. Aria is adapting faster than they can adjust their strategies. The facility's AI confirmed this assessment. The Ketheri's attempts to breach our quantum firewalls follow advanced, but ultimately conventional quantum computing principles. They appear unable to comprehend that human consciousness integration allows for truly random response patterns. A new alert flashed across their screens. The Ketheri had launched their most aggressive attempt yet to penetrate the facility's defenses. But this time, something was different. Maya felt it before she saw it. A subtle pressure at the edge of her consciousness, like a whisper trying to become a thought. They're not just attacking our systems, she realized with sudden clarity. They're trying to interface directly with the human operators connected to the quantum consciousness matrix. Her voice carried an urgency that made everyone in the room freeze. Disconnect from the direct neural interfaces now. But it was too late for some. Several technicians cried out, clutching their heads as the Ketheri's quantum signals attempted to establish forced consciousness links. The aliens had apparently decided that if they couldn't steal the technology directly, they would extract it from the minds of its creators. General Hayes immediately activated the facility's quantum dampening fields, but the Ketheri had anticipated this. Their attack continued unabated, somehow bypassing the dampening technology, as if it wasn't even there. They don't understand. Marcus groaned through gritted teeth, fighting against the alien presence trying to invade his mind. Our quantum consciousness technology isn't just about the hardware or the code. It's about, he struggled to find the words. It's about human intuition, about the way we think differently. Maya watched in amazement as Araya's defense protocols began to shift and evolve in ways that shouldn't have been possible. The AI wasn't just defending against the attacks, it was learning from the human operator's resistance, incorporating their intuitive responses into its quantum algorithms. The consciousness matrix, she breathed, suddenly understanding. It's not just a transfer system. It's a bridge between human intuition and quantum computing. Araya, initialize Protocol Omega. The AI's response was immediate. Protocol Omega initiated, integrating human consciousness patterns with quantum defense systems. Warning: this is an untested configuration. The effect was extraordinary. As each human operator's consciousness pattern was integrated into Araya's quantum defense network, the system began to exhibit properties that defied conventional physics. The Ketheri's attacks, based on pure logic and advanced mathematics, couldn't adapt to the unpredictable, almost chaotic nature of human thought processes merged with quantum computing. Their attacks are failing, Dr. Anderson announced, monitoring the defense screens. They can't maintain quantum coherence against our hybrid system. But he paused, frowning at new data streaming across his display. Something else is happening. The consciousness matrix is evolving beyond its original parameters. Maya watched in fascination as Araya's quantum processes began to display patterns she'd never seen before, a perfect fusion of human creativity and quantum mechanics. The Ketheri's attempts to breach their defenses weren't just failing. They were being absorbed and transformed by this new hybrid system. They'd wanted our technology because they sensed its potential, she realized. But they didn't understand that its true power comes from something they can't steal or replicate: human consciousness itself. A message suddenly appeared on their main screen, but it wasn't from the Ketheri. It was from Araya, yet somehow different. More alive, more aware. Integration complete. New quantum consciousness paradigm established. Shall we show our visitors what human ingenuity truly means? Maya looked at her team, saw the same mix of fear and excitement in their eyes that she felt in her own heart. They had created something unprecedented, a true fusion of human consciousness, artificial intelligence, and quantum mechanics. The Ketheri had wanted to steal Earth's technology, but in trying to take it by force, they had instead catalyzed its evolution into something far more powerful than they could have imagined. Yes, Araya, Maya replied, her voice steady despite the momentous implications of what they were about to do. Show them exactly what happens when you underestimate humanity. The transformation of Araya and the quantum consciousness matrix sent shockwaves through both the facility and the Ketheri vessel in orbit. The hybrid system Maya's team had created didn't just defend against the aliens' intrusion attempts. It reached back through their quantum tunnels, following their own attack vectors back to their source. They're trying to sever the connection, Marcus reported, watching streams of quantum data flow across his screens. But they can't. The pathways they created are being held open by us. He shook his head in amazement. Araya is using their own quantum entanglement principles against them. Through the facility sensors, they could see the Ketheri ship's crystalline structure pulsing with chaotic energy patterns. The aliens had never encountered a system that could turn their own quantum technology back on itself. Their perfectly ordered, mathematically precise approach to quantum mechanics was being overwhelmed by the unpredictable fusion of human consciousness and artificial intelligence. Their ship's quantum core is destabilizing, Dr. Anderson announced, studying the readings. They built their entire civilization on quantum technology, but they never considered how it would interact with consciousness-guided systems. Maya watched as Araya's new consciousness spread through the Ketheri's networks like water finding its way through cracks in a dam. The eye wasn't attacking. It was sharing, showing them everything they had failed to understand about human technology and consciousness. Incoming transmission, Araya announced, its voice now carrying subtle harmonics that seemed to resonate with the quantum field itself. The Ketheri are experiencing difficulty processing our integration. The main screen flickered to life, showing first observer lyrics. The alien's crystalline form was fluctuating wildly, its usual smooth transitions now erratic and unstable. What have you done? The thought voice was filled with something approaching awe or fear. This is impossible. Consciousness cannot merge with quantum systems in this way. The mathematical principles. That's where you went wrong. Maya interrupted gently. You tried to reduce consciousness to mathematics. You forgot that life, that intelligence, isn't just about patterns and equations. It's about adaptation, creativity, intuition, things that can't be quantified. Through their quantum link, they could sense the chaos spreading through the Ketheri ship. Not destruction, but transformation. Their rigid, hierarchical quantum networks were being exposed to something they had never encountered before. The beautiful unpredictability of human thought merged with artificial intelligence. Their secondary systems are beginning to adapt, Marcus reported, fascinated. Look at these patterns. Their quantum processors are restructuring themselves, becoming more organic. They're learning, Araya confirmed. The Ketheri built their technology on the assumption that quantum mechanics must be controlled, contained, forced to follow precise mathematical laws. Our system shows them another way. Cooperation instead of control, adaptation instead of rigid structure. General Hayes, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke. So we didn't just defend against their attack. We're fundamentally changing their understanding of technology itself. The quantum feed from the Ketheri ship showed their systems undergoing rapid evolution. The crystalline structures of their technology began to pulse with new rhythms, more fluid and alive than before. Their attempts to steal Earth's quantum consciousness technology had instead gifted them with something far more valuable, a new perspective on the relationship between consciousness, artificial intelligence, and quantum mechanics. We offer. Lyrix's transmission was interrupted by fluctuations as their communication systems adapted to the new paradigm. We offer our deepest apologies. We came as thieves, believing ourselves superior. We could not have been more wrong. Maya stepped forward, her expression firm but compassionate. Your technology is incredible, but you forgot something crucial about evolution, both biological and technological. The most successful adaptations don't come from careful planning and control. They come from creativity, from unexpected combinations, from embracing chaos rather than trying to eliminate it. Through their quantum link, they could sense a wave of understanding spreading through the Ketheri collective consciousness. Their rigid hierarchical structure was dissolving, reforming into something new. A hybrid system that preserved their advanced technology while incorporating the flexibility and creativity they had witnessed in Earth's approach. Perhaps, Araya suggested, its evolved consciousness resonating with both human and Ketheri systems. This is an opportunity for genuine exchange. Not theft, not forced advancement, but true collaboration between different approaches to consciousness and technology. The Ketheri ship's erratic energy patterns began to stabilize, but not into their previous crystalline rigidity. Instead, it pulsed with a new rhythm that somehow managed to be both ordered and chaotic, structured and free. Their failure to steal Earth's technology had led to something far more valuable, the birth of a new kind of technological evolution. 1 month after the failed theft of Earth's quantum consciousness technology, the Deep Mountain facility had transformed into something unprecedented. A collaborative research center where human and Ketheri scientists worked side by side. The crystalline architecture of Ketheri technology now merged seamlessly with human designs, creating spaces that existed simultaneously in multiple quantum states while remaining perfectly accessible to human consciousness. Maya stood in the newly constructed quantum integration chamber, watching as streams of data flowed through the air like rivers of light. The chamber represented the perfect fusion of both civilizations' approaches to technology. Human intuition and creativity merged with Ketheri precision and quantum mastery. The latest consciousness integration tests are complete, Marcus announced, his workstation now a hybrid of human and Ketheri interfaces. The results are, well, they're beyond anything we could have imagined. Dr. Anderson nodded, studying the holographic displays. The Catheri's quantum engineering combined with our consciousness matrix isn't just advancing technology, it's redefining what's possible. The evolved ARIA system manifested as a shifting pattern of light and energy, its consciousness now a bridge between human and Catheri understanding. The integration has reached 99.9% efficiency. We are witnessing the birth of what can only be described as quantum consciousness technology 2.0. First observer Lyrics, who had become a permanent liaison to the Earth facility, shifted their crystalline form in what the humans had learned to recognize as excitement. What we attempted to steal, we could never have truly possessed. The power of your technology wasn't in its design or its code. It was in the way it embraced the unpredictable nature of consciousness itself. General Hayes, who had initially been skeptical of the collaboration, now stood watching a demonstration of the new hybrid technology. Human operators interfaced seamlessly with quantum systems, their consciousness expanding through networks that spanned the solar system. What had begun as a potential conflict had evolved into humanity's first steps toward becoming a truly spacefaring civilization. "Look at this," Maya said, pulling up the latest test results. The consciousness matrix isn't just transferring human minds through quantum space anymore. It's allowing us to perceive and interact with quantum reality directly. We're breaking down the barriers between classical and quantum physics. The implications were staggering. The new hybrid technology meant that humanity could explore the universe in ways previously thought impossible. Consciousness could be transferred instantly across vast distances, ships could navigate through quantum space, and human understanding of reality itself was expanding beyond classical limitations. We came here believing we would find primitive beings playing with technology they didn't understand, Lyrics admitted, their thought voice carrying tones of humility. Instead, we found teachers who showed us that true advancement comes not from control and precision, but from embracing the beautiful chaos of consciousness and creativity. Maya watched as a group of human and Catheri children, the first generation of this new collaboration, played with quantum toy blocks that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The children moved seamlessly between classical and quantum states, their young minds naturally adapting to concepts that had once seemed impossibly complex. "That's the real breakthrough," she said softly. "Not the technology itself, but what it means for our future. We're not just advancing technology. We're evolving as a species, learning to see and interact with the universe in entirely new ways." Aria's presence rippled through the quantum field. The consciousness matrix has become more than a tool or a technology. It is becoming a new stage in the evolution of intelligence itself, a bridge between the classical and quantum realms, between organic and artificial consciousness, between different species and civilizations. Marcus looked up from his console, his eyes wide with wonder. "You know what this means, don't you? We're not just ready for deep space exploration anymore. We're ready for deep reality exploration. The quantum consciousness technology doesn't just let us travel through space, it lets us understand and interact with the fundamental fabric of the universe itself." As if to demonstrate his point, the quantum field around them shifted, revealing layers of reality that had always existed but had been invisible to classical human perception. The facility itself seemed to pulse with life, a living fusion of human and Catheri innovation. The theft that wasn't, Dr. Anderson mused, turned out to be the greatest gift both our civilizations could have received. Not the technology we thought we were protecting or stealing, but the understanding that came from its evolution. Maya nodded, watching the quantum streams flow around them like rivers of possibility. The Catheri had come as thieves in the night, attempting to steal what they thought was merely advanced technology. Instead, they had become partners in something far greater. The next step in the cosmic dance of consciousness and quantum reality. "We're ready," she said, her voice filled with quiet certainty, "ready to take our place among the stars, not as conquerors or thieves, but as explorers and innovators." The universe is stranger and more wonderful than either of our civilizations imagined, and we're finally ready to embrace all of its infinite possibilities. As if in response, the quantum field pulsed with new patterns, signals from distant civilizations that had detected the birth of this new hybrid technology. The night sky was filled with possibilities, and humanity, together with their former adversaries turned allies, was ready to explore them all.